Welcome to Mastering Leadership Styles, a practical guide to understanding how leaders influence teams, make decisions, and drive results. Over the next few minutes, we'll explore core theories, adaptable practices, and tools you can use to become a more effective, resilient leader in any setting. This slide previews our journey. We'll start with leadership foundations, then map the core style spectrum, examine situational adaptation, review modern paradigms, explore a development toolkit, and finish with strategies for sustainable impact and legacy. Section 1 introduces leadership foundations and sets the stage for why leadership matters. We'll define the qualities that distinguish effective leaders, explain how motivations and trust shape teams, and prepare you to connect theory with practical behaviors you can practice and refine. In defining effective leadership, think of three essentials: motivating people toward shared goals, adapting your approach to context, and building trust that fuels innovation. The images on this page suggest the emotional and creative side of leadership. Use these themes to guide decisions and support your team's growth. Leadership thinking has evolved from trait and behavioral models that searched for fixed leader qualities to contemporary views emphasizing emotional intelligence, shared leadership, and authenticity. Today's theories recognize complexity and the need for leaders to be adaptable and empathetic rather than simply directive or charismatic. Section 2, Core Style Spectrum, maps different leadership approaches and when they work best. We'll look at classic contrasts and modern blends so you can choose the right style for the situation, team maturity, and desired outcomes. When comparing autocratic and democratic styles, it helps to balance speed and inclusion. Autocratic leaders make quick, unilateral decisions useful in crises, while democratic leaders harness team input to build commitment. Effective leaders know when to pivot between these modes depending on urgency, expertise, and the complexity of the task. Laissez-faire and transactional dynamics sit at different ends of control and structure. Laissez-faire grants autonomy and can spark innovation but risks drift, while transactional leadership clarifies expectations and rewards performance to maintain stability. Strong leaders blend freedom with clear benchmarks to keep creativity grounded in results. Transformational leadership is about inspiring a compelling vision and elevating team aspirations. Transformational leaders challenge assumptions, encourage risk-taking, and invest in individualized development to build long-term commitment and high performance, creating a culture where people feel motivated to exceed expectations. Section 3 covers situational adaptation, highlighting how great leaders read context and adjust their behaviors. Instead of sticking to one style, adaptive leaders assess the environment, follower readiness, and goals to choose the most effective approach in the moment. The Hersey-Blanchard model pairs directive and supportive behaviors with follower readiness. Novices often need clear direction and close supervision, whereas experienced team members benefit from delegation. Leaders who diagnose competence and commitment accurately can accelerate development and optimize performance with the right mix of guidance and autonomy. Path-goal alignment emphasizes clarifying pathways to valued goals and removing obstacles. Leaders adjust behavior to reduce ambiguity, match follower needs, and boost satisfaction, while staying flexible in their approach so they can provide tailored support and practical guidance as circumstances change. Agile contextual switching is about rapid, deliberate pivots in leadership style. Modern volatility demands a broad behavioral repertoire and emotional agility, so leaders cultivate reflective routines and quick response habits that let them shift between directive, coaching, and collaborative modes as situations evolve. Section 4 explores modern paradigms that move beyond command and control toward more relational and systems-oriented approaches. We'll examine servant, authentic, shared, and distributed leadership models that prioritize sustainability, inclusion, and collective capability. Servant and authentic leadership focus on values, stewardship, and follower development. Servant leaders prioritize growth and community, while authentic leaders act with transparency and moral clarity. Together, these styles create sustainable impact by aligning behavior with values and building long-term stakeholder trust. Shared and distributed leadership disperse influence across teams, tapping collective expertise for complex work. This approach flattens decision-making networks, allowing organizations to be more responsive and innovative because diverse perspectives are empowered to lead where they have the most value. Inclusive and cross-cultural leading means recognizing diverse identities and adapting practices for global contexts. Inclusive leaders reduce unconscious bias and foster belonging, while cross-cultural competence ensures communication, motivation, and negotiation practices fit different cultural norms to sustain multinational effectiveness. Section 5 Development Toolkit outlines practical methods to build leadership capability. From feedback systems to skill experiments, this toolkit is about converting insight into behavior through structured practice, reflection, and peer learning so leaders can expand their adaptive capacity over time. Self-assessment and feedback loops form the foundation for growth. Use 360-degree feedback, emotional intelligence audits, and style inventories to identify blind spots. Complement those insights with reflection journals and peer coaching cycles to turn data into actionable development plans. Skill-building experiments create safe spaces to practice new behaviors. Micro-interventions like rotating facilitation or shadowing offer low-risk trials. After-action reviews capture lessons learned, and progressive development sequences help leaders expand flexibility through repeated, reflective practice. Section 6 Sustainable Impact shifts attention to legacy and long-term value. We'll discuss how to integrate personal values, stakeholder needs, and institutional practices so leadership benefits persist beyond any individual tenure and support organizational resilience. Crafting your leadership legacy starts with a clear philosophy that aligns purpose, values, and stakeholder priorities. Leaders then institutionalize knowledge through succession planning, mentorship, and culture codification so adaptive capacity and ethical standards continue long after they depart. Thank you for exploring Mastering Leadership Styles. Take a moment to reflect on which practices you'll try first, and remember that leadership is an ongoing journey of learning, experimentation, and intentional legacy building.